You're listening to the Local Earshot Podcast with your host, Johnathan Grissom. Let's talk about music.
Hello, everybody. This is Johnathan Grissom of More Bands Media and the Local Earshot Podcast. I am here with David Carlyle, guest host of the show today. And then, you never tell me his name.
His name is James Hammontree.
James. There you go. I feel like an asshole now. No. I was trying to remember from that night I met you, and I was like, oh, I can't remember the name.
It's all good.
I can't remember anything at the Blue Note.
That night?
Yeah, or
Something
any
about
night.
Yeah, honestly, like when you're on that stage, I went on that stage one time and I had friends up there just playing. It was like a Turbo Negro show. Or
Oh,
whatever.
cool.
And I went up there and like they have lights that are in there that are so bright.
Oh yeah, you can't see anything.
Up below you anyway, so it really doesn't matter.
You're right about it. That was a wild night. That was a fantastic show as well.
That was fun. It was Noah's first one.
Yeah. And sound guy was just a little late, and I was there. Got to step in,
Saved the day, dude.
get my fingers. I didn't realize until the end of the show that I could increase the volume a little bit from the masters. There was another page,
Right.
Because everybody was like, "Okay, hear anything?" I'm like, "I know," but they were just playing really loud.
Right.
I just deflect.
Yeah. No, you did great.
But anyways, yeah, man.
You literally saved the show.
It was my pleasure, and hopefully I'll get to do more now that I've proven myself.
Right.
But James is a local player here in OKC. He's got a fucking plethora of bands he's been involved in. Can you tell the audience a little bit of some of the bands that you're actively in right now?
I mean, Black Magnet is my kind of main band that operates out of here, and what I do most of the writing and creative direction for. That's the main project for me. And then I play in Destroyer,
which is Noah Taylor.
Yeah, exactly. So me and Noah are both. Noah just joined Black Magnet, and obviously he's in Destroyer. And then so I joined Destroyer when they started playing again.
Oh man,
which is maybe
they've been doing it for so long. They're international.
Yeah.
If I find friends up in Canada that are fucking Destroyer, with the accent.
I mean,
damn.
They have for that scene, they have the market pretty cornered on, especially back in the day. And I think they got more popular after they broke up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sometimes it's death does that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's well, we're not dead. We're resurrected.
Right.
If anything, I would pinpoint some of those locations if it comes to performing out there or finding those old contacts.
Oh, yeah,
I know
for
it goes down to Texas as well.
Well, I mean, a lot of the bands from that era are kind of playing again too. So
yeah, a resurgence of nostalgia for that matter is where we're at. Exactly. Reliving a lot of the past. That didn't occur to me until more recently. Like a band is only gonna do so much for so long.
Yeah, right.
But it's no, your audience grows with you. So this is a lifelong thing.
Right.
I'm like, oh fuck, because it's just weird to think of a pop band like Green Day or something more intimate, and you're an old man in the crowd, and what the fuck are you doing?
And it's it seems like that's meant for young people, but that now it's now we're that age, and so we still like the same shit. You know what I mean? And so it's just it
doesn't go away.
Yeah, why would the music go away with that too? You know what I mean?
About it. There's some excitement there for the new stuff. But so Black Magnet,
Destroyer. I play with Greg Puciato from
Puciato. Is
Puciato.
Is that how you say that?
Yeah, Greg Puciato.
I wrote it down as Puciato.
It's right.
Puciato.
I think it's Puciato.
But he prefers P, or just don't even fucking say it.
What do you mean, Greg?
Greg, people trying to say his last name.
Oh, I mean, he doesn't care. I don't think he cares.
I scour the internet and I'm just
Greg Puciato. Yeah. You got to do the Puciato fast.
Got it.
Yeah.
The Guy Fieri.
Right. But yeah, I play guitar for his solo project. And Yeah, Noah's in that band too.
Noah's in that band
Yeah,
too.
I got him in
that's
that band.
incredible. Like that is a feat right there.
That's how me and Noah reconnected because Greg was looking for a drummer, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Well, I know the best one."
the best in OKC,
yeah.
like, for sure, 100%.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It is a perfect feeling, like the Destroyer, and Relapse Records and everything off that Dillinger has released.
Yeah,
is like
yeah,
in
yeah,
that vein.
yeah, yeah. So Greg also plays for Better Lovers, of course. He was a Dillinger, for 20 plus years.
Black Queen.
And he sings with Jerry Cantrell.
Jerry Cantrell, which is a local player, Allison James.
right.
Fucking for me, I'm from Washington. Like that's my home state.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And I mean, it's it was like probably like 0 to 10, and more of my formative years are here.
Right.
But I always think of Washington.
Yeah.
Anything from Washington, like Postal Service, fucking minus the bear.
Well, it's funny because he also has a place here in Atoka, Oklahoma.
Jerry Cantrell
Yeah, Jerry Cantrell.
Yeah, doesn't he have a ranch down here?
Yeah.
No, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of Lane Staley videos have been popping up again.
Oh, cool.
Like rare footage of just Lane and like what their band was. Again, it's a nostalgia train.
Yeah.
And as an Okie from Washington,
Right.
Alice in Chains, grunge. I'm like, cool, fuck yeah. All right.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Yeah, those are the main bands. But I'm always writing other shit too. So who knows? I'll probably have like maybe a couple of other things come out solo wise this year. I don't know yet.
Forgive me. Let me look at some questions here.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Dead Air, Poop and Annie's, local influences. And that's kind of like what the show. My favorite part about this show and John is getting to hear the insights of local dudes, local
Right.
players, like people that are influenced by Oklahoma. I mean, we were talking about some bands like Saturday Sirens.
Right.
Only people from Oklahoma are going to know that kind of shit.
Right.
Or let's base it on some of them.
Man, I'm trying to think like as far as like what I kind of grew up going to see Oklahoma. Musician-wise. Yeah.
We talked about like Dust House and some of your
Right,
influence,
right.
like how you got from there to here.
I mean, really, like a lot of it was going to the Green Door when I was 15.
The Green
and
Door.
Obviously, seeing bands like I don't know, like All, and
All is a band?
All the band.
Oh, sorry.
And like Suicide Machines, and
All
like
the bands?
well, no, like all like the Descendants
I'm
band.
thinking,
yeah.
like Assembly of God was the first one. for me.
yeah. They're Tulsa, right?
Hard for me to say. I was a youngster.
I think they were Tulsa.
They just went hard.
But
at
then,
Green Door.
Right. But then when I would go see like the touring bands, there'd be local bands opening up. You know what I mean? So I would start to get familiar with that. I would say like, like bands like Minutes Too Far were like an early band I was seeing.
Is that Greg Kresbeck? What I was talking about, the admin people?
I think he was in. I don't know if he was in that band. Probably, yeah.
It's Too Far. There's also like Fly Falter Die, like which I'm affiliated with.
Right,
like, a little
right.
bit.
But man, I don't know. There's just a ton of local bands. A lot of like the PC North bands, like 3 out of 5. If you
PC North, like down the street.
Yeah,
like OKC?
yeah. Well, yeah, from like the
that's a
like
whole scene, dude.
2000. Yeah, that's what I mean. So I don't know. Locally, I guess seeing just like street punk, pop punk. Do you know Pete? The bands Pete would do.
Pete,
I forget his last name.
Spacing guitar player,
Yeah,
singer.
yeah. Of what's his band? God,
Goodness, I have no idea.
he plays the blue note a lot. But I don't know. Anyway, yeah. But as far as like kind of bigger bands, over the years, I don't know.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like big bands like
yeah,
that.
it's funny.
'Cause your
Like
style jumps around quite a
Right,
bit,
right.
from the Sex Knobs and some of the other stuff you were showing me earlier.
yeah,
And now, like, we're in industrial stuff, which is
Right,
like,
right.
oh my god, it's scary.
Yeah.
but it's fucking dope, dude. It's like,
yeah.
Ba-da-ba-bum-ba.
Right. But yeah, so I don't know. I always grew up with like just seeing every local band start and break up. I feel like for like 2 generations now, So I guess I would say like the local influences have always sort of changed. I've always just kind of attached to who I think's doing something like unique for the time.
Was there
that I
ever
like
like a
time.
genre? Like for me, like I was into Weird Al
Oh,
and like
yeah.
like Ace of Base and shit, and then
Like for me personally,
yeah, well,
I mean,
that's what I'm talking to right
well, I know, but like, I mean, I
now. Did
started
you have like a CD or something?
I was always like, I always liked like punk and metal pretty equally, but then I would like get into, I don't know, I guess really I got into music through skateboarding. Like skateboarding was my like lead into all alternative culture.
Right. So like
And
maybe CKY or something.
yeah, but even stuff like, I mean, like the Toy Machine videos would have like Modest Mouse, Fugazi, Sonic Youth.
Oh, okay.
But then I would also still be listening to System of a Down and Korn and Slayer and Metallica and like, you know, like my dad was always involved in music and he was more classic rock, but like Van Halen was his favorite band.
Was he just a rocker or was he a player?
He was a player.
A little bit of both?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
He's actually a better drummer than guitar player, but so I grew
Does
up.
he know that?
He should. He really should have played drums, but
Sorry,
so I grew up around music a ton. My parents were pretty religious, but not like overbearing about it. They were always supportive of like playing music and imagination and art and stuff. But getting into skateboarding is really what led me, I would say, into weirder fringes of music, because I would still be into like, you know, the shit we were into when we were 15, like I said, like Korn and System of a Down, but you know, I was hearing Sonic Youth, Fugazi, Modest Mouse real early from all the skate videos and stuff. And so I would just buy those CDs as well.
100%.
I was like equally getting into like, I remember I bought System of a Down's first record, the same trip to Crossroads Mall that I bought at the drive-in Relationship of Command. And at the time I couldn't like hear the difference. You know what I mean? They were just like, it was just all music.
Between at the drive-in and
System of a Down's first record. So I bought that on the same trip to the CD store. Yeah.
Huh.
And at the time it was like in my mind I was like 15, you know. In my mind I was like, oh, these are like the same kind of bands. So,
yeah, I guess I could see that.
But like growing up like with that, there wasn't like I never had a big attachment to any genre. And it would be funny because like as time would go on, like my friends that would get more into metal would make fun of me because I still liked like MXPX or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like
I'm a recovering gatekeeper myself.
Right. But then I would like also be able to like out weird them by showing them Sonic Youth or you know, stuff like Dinosaur Jr. and
oh man, there's just so much good music out there. Not like I want to confront that thing of like wasting my time just loving metal, because I started with like Hasting Records,
right,
just album covers.
Yeah,
I was like, that shit looks dope, and that's how I found like shitty music.
Yeah.
Like God Bless Satan, the Metaphisto ska band with
Mephistopheles.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And then getting out of that, just like opening it all up. But for sure, it's
and like I worked at Size Records when I was 16.
You worked at a record store?
Yeah,
you did the damn.
So like being around that, I was just like only like I didn't give a shit about genres. I just gave us like the sickest bands are just what I wanted to be around. You know,
that is
like,
perfect.
My brother used to work at Target, and he'd bring home CDs every single like payday. He'd buy CDs.
Sick.
So he'd bring them home, and then we'd load them on the computer, and then we would just like back them all up.
Right.
And so I'd had all the backups of all the music and stuff, and so that's I have like a hard drive full of like $1,000. Like,
do you have
1,000 gigs of music?
That's sick.
Do you have Nirvana's hit single "Waif Me" because of the censorship?
I don't know.
That's
maybe.
Thing.
I know it was really funny whenever during the Kazaa era, whenever you'd go
Kazaa, I love Kazaa.
Yeah, we'd download LimeWire and all that, and you'd download the song, and then like it would go and like screech.
Right.
It was a fake version because they kept flooding it with fake versions.
Dude, I still use SoulSeek. SoulSeek's still ripping.
Yeah.
I use SoulSeek all the time.
Man, I don't want to lie. I use a YouTube Ripper.
Yeah,
no, YouTube Ripper's good though. No, for a lot of things. Not
right.
Bad things
right.
I do out there.
But yeah, that's kind of the answer to the genre question, I guess I'd say. Like I never really gave a shit about genres, and I've always liked artists that just do a bunch of different shit as artists, you know. So
No, 100%.
But it's always leaned more towards heavy, aggressive, dark stuff. Even if it's like the poppier side of things, like new
I would like to
wave or
hear
whatever.
that, like, because that's like my bread and butter is metal,
Right.
and like math rock and
Yeah.
avant-garde stuff. But what is the heavy shit that you got into that like kind of influences,
like what's where I led,
or at
now,
least
I
like the couple
guess.
of albums, like when you're making an album, you're thinking you're
Yeah.
slightly influenced, but not fully influenced by something
As
else.
of like currently, right
Sure,
now in my career.
'Cause we talked about End.
The
Counterparts.
I mean,
obviously,
like I'm trying to think. I mean, as far as like regarding like Black Magnet and stuff, I mean, Godflesh was one of the first bands that, like, getting into metal, I was like, oh, this band stands out from, like, the other metal stuff as, like, it had, like, an art project vibe to it behind it, you know, and, like, a weirdo noise aspect to it.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, that's really what was a big, and that's the thing, I've always looked for, like, the fringe bands within genres sort of things. But, I mean, like, the first 2 Carcass records were my first probably extreme records, you know, that I got into, probably like 15, 16, Symphonies of Sickness. I got into I Hate God and Crowbar. Those are really, really early on. But from like Pantera, kind of, you know. I mean, Pantera.
Or Down, for that matter.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like sludge, slow.
Yeah.
Just a different scene for me.
But like, yeah, Queens of the Stone Age is still huge for me. Like, I reference Josh Homme's guitar playing in Black I mean, in everything I do, like, a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's a subconscious way to look at it.
Yeah.
Just like taking this influence, because they're really good at like melodies and rhythms.
Dude, and just the riffs are just fucking awesome. Like, it's and every record, even like the
band.
ones that are like newer, you know, like still have the sauce in there, even if they're like more polished or whatever. But yeah, it's I feel like for me it's like kind of like it's like a player, it's like the player behind it more so than like the band itself. Like Kirk from Crowbar, the way he writes riffs is like huge influence.
I could meet you in the middle on that one. People would always ask me like who my favorite guitarist was or my favorite band was.
Right.
And for me, it was never the band; it was the song.
Yeah,
and it would split song to song. I would take an element out of it, like Pantera's "Becoming" has that whammy effect, or minus the Bears got tapping.
Right.
Or and it's across the board. I'm just like even like not Animals as Leaders, As Tall as Lions.
Oh yeah.
Like that's a completely different genre, but they're using delay, odd time, like 9/8.
Yeah,
and you're like, fuck,
like,
man.
I always like Terra Melos.
Yeah. I saw them with Death Grips, or I saw the guitarist.
Playing. Nick Reinhardt.
Honestly, I was like, what the fuck's going on the stage? Like, this is not sounding too great. And then I heard that and I was like, well, that's really dope.
I almost got the chance to play with him, and it's kind of a long story. I'll tell you later. But yeah, he's awesome. Nick Reinhardt's incredible. Do you follow his Instagram?
No.
It's fucking sick, dude. You should. He's just a shredder. But I mean, yeah. As far as like getting into metal at first, I always loved Metallica. My dad's coworker gave me Injustice for All when I was like 12 on cassette tape, so that was huge. But when I got into Pantera is when it really clicked, because I was getting into hardcore and like getting into. I mean, I'd been into punk and the Minor Threat and stuff, but when I got into like New York hardcore, and I was getting like understanding that stuff, but it's still
like Hatebreed.
Yeah, like Hatebreed, but
Agnostic Front.
It didn't really like sell me. I liked the riffs, but then when I really investigated Pantera around 15, 16, I was like, oh, this is the best.
Yeah,
like this is the one.
That's like Dimebag Darrell and Vinnie Paul, like they're fucking dynamic, and of course like Phil Anselmo's like screams. And, really laid that shit down. Yeah. I wanted to ask if you're Metallica or Megadeth.
It's Metallica, but I like Megadeth too. It's just I don't know.
No judgment there.
It's
personally,
like
I'm Megadeth. I mean, you can't touch Metallica in some aspects.
Yeah,
but on Cliff Burton's bass, like,
I just grew up more in Metallica than I did Megadeth, but I love Megadeth.
Megadeth
I used to teach that shit on guitar, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's
fucking
fucking
Symphony of
awesome.
Destruction.
Exactly. Yeah,
just the tootiness of it.
Hangar 18. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it was a Cryptic Writings album in '98. Okay. I was living in Texas, and I just heard that "Lost in a Dream."
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck is that sound? And honestly, that's like my biggest pleasure about playing my guitar is the palm muting.
Right.
Letting it resonate in my hand, in the fat of my hand.
Right, feeling it.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
what the fuck
totally,
I mean?
totally.
Same thing with like the amp over there, like that fucking boogie. It's like power.
Right,
Power.
Totally. But yeah, it's always been like a player thing for me. So like Dimebag, of course.
Oh yeah, circling back.
Kirk from Crowbar. Josh Homme is huge. Thurston Moore from Sonic Youth. I've always been like into like noisy no wave type stuff too, as far as like I don't know, outside of metal and
like effects pedals, experimentation,
and like just weird tunings and all of that stuff. Swans is a huge influence, like, and that's not even guitar playing, but just like vocally and like delivery wise. Yeah.
Let's get into the weird stuff like Seer.
Oh, I
think,
love that record.
or
Yeah.
Daughters for that matter.
Oh,
or,
so Nick from Daughters plays in Greg's project with me, and
what?
Yeah. He was like, I was honestly more excited to play with him than I was with Greg. Don't.
He's like, what?
Excited, you're like, oh.
Don't tell Greg I said that, but
No, dude, that's fucking.
Yeah. I mean, Daughters were huge for me. I mean, shit like Melt Banana, The Locust were massive, you know. So yeah, all over the board, man. Just the most extreme of whatever genre that is what I liked, you know.
I think it's art, you know, and sometimes it's just like
I've always
out, finding
chased,
something
like,
less cookie cutter.
Yeah, I've always chased like the weirdest shit, and I don't know, like for me, it was always kind of like that was one of my strengths is like people could outplay me, people could like, you know, but I could have better taste and out weird anyone, and mix that with some ability, then I would like kind of be able to maintain my validity, I guess.
No, 100%.
That's still how I operate, you know, like that's like a big
the curiosity that is out there of like trying to find a sound that's not familiar as a musician.
Yeah, it's
like a different color for your palette, a different like you were saying like I don't know if you're allowed to say it, but something about using samples. Somebody made a bunch of samples.
Oh yeah. I mean, I mean, that's the bread and butter of Black Magnet, you know, like.
Yes, dude. It's great. You do a phenomenal job with it. I fucking love it. I eat it up. It's so cool to have a player here in the city.
Yeah.
And I have mad respect for you. Always have.
Well, thank you, man. I'm excited to share the new record too when that comes out. But
when do you think that's going to come out?
I think June. I think June. I think the first single is going to drop next month.
Dope.
Yeah.
We can
get into that later too. Yeah.
You want to move on to something else?
Sure.
Maybe talk about touring.
Sure.
Like what kind of routes do you take? What is tour life like? Pet peeves,
right?
You know, like food, jacking off in the van.
That's right. It's like. It's different for every band, you know what I mean?
Merchandise, 360 deals, opinions about venues. Okay, sorry.
All that. No. I'm down to get into all that.
Welcome to the music business.
Yeah. You know, it's always been different for every band based on like the sort of popularity or credibility of it, or like who has a record out, what we get asked to do. I mean, the Black Magnet tours are pretty low key. You know, we're playing, 200 cap rooms every night type thing. We've had agents in the past, but I do all the booking now.
Wow.
I would like not to, but yeah.
It's good to have your finger in the source, though, at least in that regard.
Yeah.
Because there's no third party.
No
like,
middleman, yeah.
You don't have to fucking, where it's at, where you're parking, what time to show up.
Right.
When your set is. And,
like
the
that,
other stuff is not even necessary, like, depending on the level that you're at.
Right. Like it, yeah, and that's kind of how like I said, we've had two agents before, and the whole like agent thing, people just come and go so fast that I've just learned you've always got to be ready to do your own shit, and it highly stresses me out to book like a 2 or 3 week tour on my own. It's like all I work on for 3 months is emailing people,
Fucking lot.
you know,
I didn't even like
and negotiating and all of that stuff, but when it does work, it can be cool because we make all the money. You know what I mean? So I typically. It depends. If we have a record out, then I'll try and do like a 2-week tour, or maybe with like another band I like.
Touring it, create some merch, get it all ready.
Right. Like we did like 3 weeks with this band called King Yosef.
King Yosef. I've heard of that.
He's from Portland.
Is it rap or hip hop?
It's like industrial. I would say it's hip hop flavored industrial.
Okay.
So it has like a rap. His vocals have like a rap flow,
like a rhythmic kind of
flow,
deal.
but it has like
it's definitely popping up. I've been seeing it on my feed.
Yeah. He just did a tour with Health, which was cool.
Dude, Health. Wow.
Yeah.
Like that. I think they're incredible.
They're
what
awesome.
They're doing.
Oh yeah.
They did the fucking Lamb of God shit.
Yeah.
Poppy song.
Exactly.
And you're working with them? Is Black Magnet working with Health?
No. I'd like to. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We talked to those guys. We're friendly with them, but we haven't done anything.
No, that would be a dream.
Yeah,
just to have like somebody
yeah.
remix your shit. Or
exactly.
Put it out in a different perspective.
Right.
And plus,
right.
like kind of not right on the coattails, but get that notoriety.
Yeah.
But that's the nature of it sometimes.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the big thing with Black Magnet is like we love doing like remixes and stuff and like that type of thing. But Black Magnet's done, I don't know, like 5 or at least 5 pretty much full tours. Like typically we'll do like, I don't like to, unless we're, unless we're on a package that I have like a solid guarantee every night, I don't like doing longer than 2 weeks, type of thing. So we sort of pick a region that we want to play.
Don't want to wear yourself out.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah.
Don't you have like home life and stuff?
Yeah,
You know, don't want-
I can pretty much. I have the ability to tour pretty much wherever I want, as long as I'm, kind of making what I can make at home.
Just saying, it's a different day and age. Like, you don't have to wear yourself out.
No,
Depending on like where you want to get, and the level.
Usually it'll be like we'll get a good show offer in, or a fest like in Indianapolis or Chicago.
Just trying to get over there.
Yeah, and
in
that
the meantime.
and that fest will like, pay the majority of the gas money. So I'll book 5 other shows around it that will just
Brilliant.
bump it up, like that type of thing. So that's sort of how we do things now. We might have a tour coming up in August. That'll be like a package deal that I can't talk about yet. But yeah, that's kind of how the Black Magnet stuff operates. I pretty much manage the band, do all the booking, do all the merch, all that shit.
I was going to ask, are you on a label or?
So
or-
the first 2 records were on 20 Bucks Spin, which is like a Pittsburgh sort of death metal label. Pretty established
very cool
label.
What did they do for you? Did they like give you any advances on like the record to record?
They basically funded
session
the first,
time,
funded,
merchandise,
funded the first 2 records. Like paid for recording, paid for artwork, did like a merch run, gave us some records, and then like they have good distribution. Nuclear Blast is their distributor.
Oh wow, wow.
So
dude, that's what's up, dude.
So
that's international at that point, right?
Yeah. So they have really good like internet visibility, good distribution. They're like distributed like through like Midhaven, which is the main kind of. They do like all the record store stuff. They like handle a lot of that.
All right.
So that's how that record got in stores. But yeah. So we did the first 2 records with them, and then the new record is going to be on Federal Prisoner, which is Greg Puchado and Jesse Draxler's label.
That shit is wild.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So
who are some other bands that are underneath that roster?
Well, Greg's solo project, he puts out everything out in that. He put out Trace Amount.
Trace Amount.
He is a New York industrial artist. Black Magnet's toured with him. He's toured on a lot of the Greg tours. He put out this Federal Prisoner put out this project called Sore Dream, which is 2 of the guys from Full of Hell, and I think one of the guys from The Body. What else has Federal Prisoner put out? There's shit I'm missing. It's really just kind of whatever they like, like it's like kind of our group of friends.
Well, that's good. Like,
yeah,
kind of pick and choose. Like, believe in certain products. Like, see the validity of them.
Yeah.
Like what their online presence is, like what their drive is. Versus just taking something on.
And Draxler is like putting out like we were talking about earlier, this project called Tongue. Well, he had a project called Raining Cement where he would.
Unfortunate.
He would use these.
Once it dries,
he would use his samples and he would make field recording samples of like industrial sounds, like kind of like we were talking about. And then on that project on the Raining Cement, people were only allowed to use their voice over it. And have to make a song out of the samples.
A cappella?
Yeah, pretty much with industrial sounds.
With noise.
Yeah. So I think Chelsea Wolfe was on that one.
Oh, yeah. Was she on Sumerian Records?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just I think sharing my knowledge right now.
Ghostman did a song. Health did a song.
Ghostman.
Yeah.
Is he still touring himself?
I don't know. We were supposed to play. He asked us to play he was doing a fest in Prague last summer. And he asked us to play.
Nice.
And
I fed it with a fade. I was like reading my name any other way.
Oh, dude, he's been a big supporter of Black Magnet, a big fan for a long time.
Very cool.
Yeah. So,
by proxy, I had no idea.
Yeah, he's super Eric. He's super cool guy. But unfortunately, that fest got canceled. And which canceled our European tour. So
yeah. I mean, like
that fest was basically like funding the rest of the tour. So.
Especially like I guess since it's overseas, you wouldn't want to continue with that. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, like
you wouldn't come out even on that.
Well,
but if it was in the States,
yeah,
or even Canada or Mexico,
right.
You ever play in Mexico?
I played in Tijuana one time, yeah, not in Black Magnet and another band, but yeah. So yeah, Blach Magnet. That the new record will come out in Federal Prisoner.
Yes, very exciting.
June-ish.
June-ish. You got some singles that you're stoked about.
I think we're like basically we have 3 videos right now that we're like finishing editing. As soon as those are done, we'll probably start uploading shit, and then Yeah, we should have the first single out next month. I don't have a date right now. Probably end of April, I would say, the first single. Yeah.
Right on. To be continued.
Yeah. And then we'll have a single for that and a video. And then probably a month later, another single and a video. And then they'll do like a pre-order for the record. Yeah. And hopefully June, July, the record will be out and that type of thing. Yeah.
No, for sure. I'm trying to figure out what to segue into.
Sure.
You want a song break?
We could take a song break. We could do a sorry. Pet peeves about tour. We already talked about that, like venues, talent buyers, other bands.
Yeah.
We could talk about the future of the music industry, where you think it's going to be at.
We can talk about more tour stuff if you want. It doesn't matter.
It's either or. I mean, it's you. Well, like whatever you're willing to share, like it's all gold right now.
Right.
Like the ties, like the uniqueness of the scene, like how we're in Oklahoma, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Well, I mean, like coming out of like living in Oklahoma
Mm-hmm.
is like already. It's not so much anymore, but it was a handicap. You know what I mean? And
It just depends on how you look at it. I mean,
but I have more time. I mean, I've lived in another place. I lived in Oakland for like 2 years, and all I did was work. You know what I mean? And out here, it's cheap.
It's affordable.
I have a
it's
fuck ton of
accessible,
time. You know,
and
it's in the middle of the country. I can literally hit I can hit Dallas, Austin, Chicago, Kansas City, all within 8 hours. You know, yeah, it's
There's
just
a lot
like
of folks down there.
it's easy. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, touring with Greg is a lot easier than touring with Black Magnet because he's obviously more established. So, he's got agents. We've got good guarantees.
The treatment is
we've got
good. The
food.
VIP rooms,
Yeah, exactly.
catering,
Yeah.
per diem. Is there a per diem?
Yeah.
Is that what he's got worked out with you?
Yeah, I get like a weekly pay rate and then a per diem per day.
What does that actually look like? I mean, you don't have to disclose, but is it like $10 a day or breakfast, lunch, dinner?
I basically get enough to pay for like one full meal.
Okay.
Per day.
Trying to make it last, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things like I'll wake up and have coffee and maybe like, a croissant, and then I'll use my per diem to have lunch, and then I'll just eat like green room turkey. For
nice.
dinner.
Very good. No,
but free
up.
booze, so
no
like
Taco Bell, no fast food. You try to stay away from that stuff, or
no,
once a week.
Yeah, I mean, I'll eat like usually it's like Chick-fil-A is what I'll go for.
Is that your preference?
Yeah, Chick-fil-A, Cane's,
He like his chickie.
Dude, I'll go to the fucking.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I said I like Cane's.
Right. I'll go to the.
Their sauce is too fucking strong. Man.
I go to
rich.
I go to the grocery store on tour. I'm like, fuck it. Like,
Right.
yeah. I'll just like
That's what I used to do on TDY.
Yeah.
some ramen or
cheap
get some
salad,
fucking
dude. Like
yes,
chicken
okay.
salad, Cobb salad. I mean, yeah. I try to eat healthy on tour. I mean, I always end up like drinking way more than I should because you're literally sitting in a bar for.
You're fucking chilling.
Yeah, like I mean, on the Greg tours, we'll have like a 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock load in. You know what I mean? And then the sound check, and then we play at fucking 10.
Sometimes you're lucky enough to explore the city or whatever you're in.
Yeah,
if it's a walking distance or
I usually
a van or a bus or
in that project, like with Black Magnet, like I run the merch, I book the shows, I do everything. So I don't typically get to do a lot of extra shit in that band because I'm having to handle everything.
Right.
Yeah, whenever I play with Greg, it's a lot more. I have like pretty much from 5 to 10 p.m. I can go walk around, do whatever I want.
It's like you're a passenger in that situation.
Yeah,
and it's not all on your shoulders.
Yeah,
knowing your fucking ribs.
I'm the guitar player. Yeah.
Not being hungover, like
savagely
that much.
hungover.
Just like, oh my god,
dude. There's sometimes I mean, even in Black Magnet, like we'll fucking party.
What does a motherfucker do like when they feel like shit and they literally are shitting? And they're like, I don't want to fucking do this. I got to piss. And like,
Adderall.
You're just like, just do it.
Adderall.
I'm thinking of like, what's her name from the Black Eyed Peas? That situation or other stars that are like you have to fucking go on. Like Taylor Swift, like I got a cold. It's like, but you have 500 people that just paid X amount of dollars.
Yep.
I mean,
the show must go on.
I mean, I feel like it's like. I mean, I think it's the more that
it's only an hour,
and yeah, exactly. The more that you do it, and like your adrenaline rush, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
like,
you get excited still.
Oh fuck yeah! I mean, that's why I'm addicted to it. Like I've been addicted to playing since
There's gotta be something there that's fueling motherfuckers to keep doing.
Yeah, I'm absolutely addicted to it, and I mean. It's obviously
new
music.
people, the scene, sharing your shit, your community.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just like I feel like that it's really my way of engaging with people and sharing with people. You know, like it's not even like I don't like speaking in front of people. I don't like a lot of people looking at me. You know what I mean? I don't like get off on that, but like I get off on sharing this like
it's kind of a type of validation in a sense.
Yeah,
from your peers.
Well, yeah, but it's like how I feel when I watch my favorite bands. That's what I want to be a part of for someone else. Not that I'm their favorite band, but like that feeling. You know what I mean? Like that's like I'm as much of a enjoyer of music as I am a player. Maybe even more than I am a musician.
Honestly,
you know,
it's kind of where I'm at. Sometimes it gets in my head and I can't even create things.
But it's all fun. You know,
it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun.
Well, and that's a big thing for me is like, well, how do you keep up the motivation or get excited? Is like, man, like. Life could be so much worse, you know what I mean? I'm so lucky that even if I make fucking $300 a night, you know, it's like on like a Black Magnet tour or something. That's kind of, you know, that's like even if it's a bad show, I guess I can still like have fun if it's right, you know.
No, 100%.
If the vibe's there, you know.
All that shit adds up.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know. Music's one of those things where it's like you take a lot of loss to get a lot of gain, and so when the gain is good. When the gain is really good, people are like, how did this fucking happen? Like, what are you doing? How did this work out? It's like, well, I took a fuck ton of loss at first.
I remember you telling me that.
You know, and that's like, and that still happens. You know what I mean? Like I can, like, you know, I don't know. I can play some, like, huge fucking fest, but not get on a fest in Oklahoma, you know? Like,
oh, yeah, that's just lame. It's disheartening sometimes. It's like, it's just Norman Music Festival, you fucking hoity-toity sons of bitches, but you're like down the way playing a metal fest.
Right.
I had a friend that she's a DJ, and she couldn't book shows in Oklahoma. But like she's been DJing for like 20 years. Like, she's like real known in like other states. Yeah. And she was showing me online, like she had a following on like Twitch and stuff.
Yeah.
Visuals and everything. And it was huge. So she should have been playing like the bigger event. But couldn't even get a show on any of the DJs here were like locked down.
Right.
Oh,
moves to New York.
Whack.
She's moved to New York, like back to New York, where she was from, like where she grew up, and she moved back there, and like she's booking shows every single night. Has works at a company that does like I think like a music company or whatever. She used to be a mortician.
Oh wow,
and she's doing really well for herself.
That's sick.
Like,
I feel like that plays into like the scene. Like a while back, we used to have camps. You know, robotic.
Yeah, of course.
So like if we don't have something like that, like a place for it, then it might not happen.
I mean, even like Black Magnet has a hard time getting on local shows sometimes. Like we'll play like some of the bigger touring acts that we're like friends with, like
89th Street stuff.
Yeah, like Author and
Corbin
Punisher, like Portrayal of Guilt, like those kind of bands. But like
Portrayal of Guilt.
Yeah,
love that band.
Yeah,
isn't that a Texas band?
Yeah, they're Texas.
They're fucking heavy.
We've done like 5 or 6 shows. I know Matt real well, but we've done 5 or 6 shows with him. But yeah, sometimes getting on like a you know, a different, like a hardcore show or like a death metal show, and of course, you know, we're like we're like an industrial metal band. But in my eyes, it's just like it's kind of like what I was saying earlier. Is just like I look at the shit like sports. Like I don't give a fuck about the genre. Who's the best band? Who's sick?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like who's like, and so I don't know. That it can get a little clicky, like kind of with what you're
for sure
talking about. And you know, it's fine. Like I remember like being in my earlier mid-20s and looking at older bands and being like, huh, that's weird. You know what I mean? Like, but I always liked it. Or it would be like, I try and envision it like, you know, when I was like maybe 20 and I would see like a band like Train Dodge.
Yeah.
And I always loved it, but like it would have been, not that it would have been weird for us to play a show, and we did play shows together, but like they weren't in my peripheral. They were in my peripheral, not my direct vision.
It's got to look at it a different way.
So I kind of give it some of that sometimes too.
That's a way system, like mixing certain bands. Like sometimes it does not make sense.
Right.
Like what are you doing? Folk and fucking industrial, like
right. But to me, if it's heavy, it's fucking heavy.
If it's heavy, yeah, a Train Dodge and like that show that we just had with Rainbows Are Free, and
like that show made.
That was a nice night. That was a homey night.
But that show made sense to me. Like Black Magnet's not so indifferent from Rainbows Are Free or Train Dodge in like the broader scope of music. Like I understand if like all you listen to is like, you know, like Slaughter to Prevail, it might not make sense, you know, or like whatever. But like,
no, Giraffe Massacre would have a lot of situations like that.
Right.
Like, we aren't quite math rock, and we're not quite metal, but we use metal stuff.
But if,
so we would be
if it's heavy, it's just fucking heavy.
like a death metal band and a fucking
well, like someone like my dad wouldn't know the difference between Rainbows Are Free, Train Dodge, and Black Magnet.
yeah,
I mean, he would be able to tell, but like it would be like, yeah, you know, like it's just that's a metal show, cool, end of story, you know. But yeah,
You reckon we should play like a tune or two?
Sure.
You know, take a little
Yeah. What's
kind of intermission.
I'm gonna take a piss.
What? Yes.
But go ahead and play it.
Yeah.
What's
this?
play first?
Maybe Damage Device. That's the
Okay,
newest one.
that's fine. Yeah.
Damage Device by Black Magnet.
Probably talked for 90 minutes straight.
I'm just listening. I like
Damage Device by Black Magnet.
Let's go.
Oh, we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
What happened?
We are back.
Oh wow. We had a
You want me to knock out my
restroom break.
segment real quick, and then we can finish up the interview?
Say it again.
You want me to knock out my little segment thing, and then we can...
Yeah. Or
I'll
it's
do it at the end.
isn't it just like your place, like where you choose to put it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really- yeah.
Actually, it's a perfect spot.
Yeah. So the local Earshot podcast I run on the value for value system. That is time, talent, and treasure. I value everybody's time for listening to the show, and I'm thankful to all the artists. Basically, that works out to be my talent. So if you want to be on the show, then you can reach out to me at john@thelocalearshot.com, or on any of the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, and now TikTok, but I haven't uploaded all the videos yet. And then the third T is treasure. So if you want to donate to the show, then you can go out to the localearshot.com or reach out to me, and I can give you the Cash App or other links where you can donate. Yeah.
If you're trying to get them out there.
Nah.
All right.
Sorry.
Now we're good.
We're telling
Go right in
secrets.
this.
Yeah, we were.
They're over here telling secrets,
games.
conspiring against me.
Conspiring for you.
Inspiring.
Sweet.
I want everyone to get rich. That's what I really want.
I'm actually reading a book that's called that.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Huh. What do we talk about now?
Dude, you have a lot of good. I read your questions. They're all good.
Yeah, your choice. We can talk about
You
some of the challenges that you face on the road and how to overcome them, such as like a flat tire, or you have AAA, or
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
somebody's like having a fucking issue.
yeah.
You know, somebody
yeah.
just like
The
is
shit-
getting fucked up too much.
Yeah,
and it's like,
happens.
what do you do to de-escalate?
I mean, you know, like I feel like if you're still doing music at this point, you're pretty. Oh yeah, if you're still doing music at this point, you're pretty fucking serious about it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's already like a level of built-in sort of professionalism that is required.
Oh, they probably wouldn't bring you on unless
Right.
proved.
But depending on the situation. But I mean, there's always situations where someone's too drunk, someone's in a fight with their girlfriend, some
they're
shit,
just like depressed.
some shits. Yeah, maybe they don't have a girlfriend, and that's why they're sad. Or like whatever. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Every situation's different. There's definitely been, you know, yelling and that type of thing happen. But like I said, it's typically you wouldn't be here unless music was at like the forefront of your mind. And
Yeah.
so I just think keeping that alive is, you know, and as the most important thing will typically kind of get you through that stuff, you know, like, and even like in my personal life, like I fuck up less in life when I'm working really hard on a project creatively. So
it's like a momentum thing. Like you have a responsibility, and you don't have so
Yeah.
much free time to just do something stupid.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like I missed college a lot, but I hated college.
right.
But I loved knowing there was something I had to fucking get up, because if I don't,
Right.
you know, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna get fat. I'm just gonna go drink.
Well, yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
gonna write anything. And
Right,
if I'm drinking, I'm not writing. And if you're
Yep.
not writing, you're eluding your purpose.
Exactly. So that's kind of my answer to getting through. I don't really have pet peeves. The only pet peeve is like,
People eating your food, people farting,
I don't even
speaking too loud, bad breath.
I don't even give a shit.
Don't give a shit.
Don't-
Wow.
I mean-
easy peasy.
Yeah, I'm usually just so stoked to be playing music that I'm not like thinking about stuff. I would say, I mean, my own pet peeve is that I have really bad insomnia, so I have a hard time sleeping. I actually sleep better on tour sometimes, but
That's so strange. Like in
I
a
know.
moving vehicle at 60 miles to 70 miles per hour.
Yeah, or even in hotels, you know. But
If you can afford them.
right,
Depending
well,
on-
we usually that's the thing is like I won't do a tour unless we can afford a hotel 5 nights a week.
5 nights a week.
Yeah, now
You-
you know.
no more-
and you know the meal thing, like as long as you get the right hotel, you're good.
Yeah, exactly,
breakfast.
exactly. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, like in a project like Black Magnet, we can survive, you know, $400 to $500 a night, kind of a thing.
Damn.
So,
Are you making money from merch? Or is it
Yeah.
in advance? Or are you just really good at saving your
well,
money?
I try to do at least get us like, you know, a $200 or $300 guarantee minimum every
Right.
show, and then. I mean, we usually do 200 or 300 in merch every night. Black Magnet does.
Yeah.
Like if we're crushing it, if we're killing it, and another big thing is like I put a lot of work and effort and money into merch design. Like that's like huge for
Yes.
me. Like that's
I
just
think
like
that's-
that's how you make money. It is.
It's got to be good. It's got to be
would-
tasteful. Like, let me get your opinion on types of shirts.
Right.
Recently, I heard that people are more for giant, like the harder ones. And
yeah.
I'm like, I fucking hate those, dude.
I don't know.
Like,
I
sure, it's
really
gonna last,
Well,
but-
whoever I'm printing with, I'll print with either McKinsey and Company
Is that
downtown,
Oklahoma?
yeah, it's Oklahoma, or Backroom, who does a lot of the hardcore stuff. They have
I
a
like
print
those
shop.
shirts.
Yeah.
Is that local too?
Yeah. So I
So
basically
what are their names again?
Backroom and McKinsey.
McKinsey.
McKinsey's
Factory
downtown.
does Oklahoma hardcore.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But basically,
I might have one of those shirts.
basically, I just asked those dudes. I'm like, what are people making?
What's cool
Yeah, like what are people buying?
material-wise?
Yeah, I'm like, you fucking pick, dude, do it. You know, so, yeah. Merch is a big thing.
I believe in merch a lot.
I would say pet peeves on tour are more about like, I mean, I love the venues that we play most of the time, but like shitty sound people, shitty door people,
Shitty attitude.
shitty attitude. People don't want to be there. It's a fucking, I get it. It's a shitty dive bar on a Wednesday night, whatever.
Yeah,
But like, you're dealing with like a lot of that kind of atmosphere, I guess, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can't blame people, but then when it pops off, it's fucking sick, and you can't get that anywhere else,
right,
type of thing.
The momentum happens.
So I would say it's like being right under playing like 500 cap venues. That's what you're going to deal with, until you're selling out those rooms. You're not going to get in 500 cap rooms type of thing. And we do some of those too, depending on like what it is or the city or whatever.
Wouldn't you think that would be like the next level?
Yeah,
like
for
you
sure.
would start to hire somebody to get like those packages.
Yeah,
and to have them push you to the next
right.
level.
Well, yeah, and like I think we're about to do a tour in August with someone, and it'll be like on that type of thing. We'll be like the opening slot on that, but I mean, and even with Greg, there'll be some shows where we're playing like 1,000 cap room, and then some shows we're playing 150 cap room.
Right, right.
So it just all depends,
There's variations too.
It all depends on like how soon a record is out, who you're touring with, what you're touring on. How it depends on fucking plays. It depends on visibility and coverage, all that stuff. I would say that's like the pet peeviest part about it is just like like selling yourself and managing like what you are worth versus what you could be worth versus how hard the promoter worked on getting people to the show, all that shit, you know, same as it's always been. But there's a lot of fucking bands,
There's a lot of competition.
There's a lot of competition. It's real, it's real cutthroat.
What do you think of working with a producer? Like, I know that you have pure creative control.
Yeah.
But would you ever be against having somebody step in?
I would love to. Yeah.
To that extra set of eyes
for
or
sure.
ears.
I would love that. I mean, that's the thing is like, I would love that, and I would love not doing it. Like like
Sounds like you're like
I mean
exhausted and you want to expedite some of these responsibilities, whether it's touring or.
I mean, I just want to play. I want to play and write. You know what I mean? Like
that's the nature of the beast.
Yeah, exactly. like
it's no longer I just play. It's
right. Like,
I make merchandise.
Well, I want to
and videos,
and I like doing that stuff. Like I mean, I spend like 3 hours a week like with Adobe Premiere tutorials and fucking Pro Tools and
trying
Logic.
to learn the next step.
Yeah, I mean,
so
like
that you don't have to pay somebody
exactly
like
and,
$60 an hour
exactly
for something that you could possibly do, and then you might. It just makes you much more valuable and makes you a linchpin in that set.
Well, like I'm like getting into mastering right now, and I'm mastering some Federal Prisoner stuff, and that's part of kind of our deal that we're doing with the record, if you will. So, I try to diversify as much as I can, but really like as much weight as I can take off me having to do the managerial shit, the more I can write badass songs.
Yeah, it
the more
frees
time.
up that space, that creativity.
So, but I just want to play, like whether it's playing with Black Magnet, Destroyer, playing with Greg, playing with someone else, remixing, working with a producer. Like I think it's all fun, It's all just like I look at it like I mean, but when you're a little kid, you would want to do it all. You know what I mean? You fucking make a painting, skateboard, get stoned, play with crayons, can't steal shit from the gas station. Like that's how I look at playing music now. You
heard it here.
That's right.
He just incriminated himself. He took a Snickers from a Circle K.
Well, it's 13.
I was hungry. All right, let's segue into
so.
something else. Yeah. I like talking about Oklahoma and Oklahoma scene.
Yeah.
Oklahoma locations, sound guys. Not an us and them mentality.
Right.
But sometimes it ends up being that way.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's like Tulsa versus Oklahoma City or, some of the hardcore stuff that's out there. Is there any new bands that you've come across or new locations? Like the Sanctuary was doing a bunch of stuff there for a bit, and there's a new one popping up.
In OKC?
I want to say Ann Arbor, maybe?
I don't know. Oh,
10th. It's right down the way.
Is it that bookstore, Bookish?
It's called The Venue, maybe.
Oh, I don't know.
So there's the Venue. That's
you know what I'm talking about?
That's on Villa.
Yeah, Villa.
Yeah,
okay.
that one might be. Somebody was telling me that they might have
short-lived.
Well, they want somebody to come in and buy it and take over the building and stuff.
Huh.
So, but it's because it's like next to a dispensary. on Villa.
Yeah, it is.
And then it has like
Kinda works out.
it's not a drinking venue either.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
but it has a little arcade in the front, which is kind of cool, and then it has like a little
Yeah.
back area.
Yeah.
But it's right. There's an auto care center built into that building, and then there's a dispensary. And the guy that owns the dispensary owns that room. I guess owns all that, and he has his friends running it and stuff. So I don't know what their plan is. I'm hoping that they do well because they're all pretty cool dudes in there. And
I figured it was like younger people. So for me, I was like, the torch keeps going. Pass it along. Make it happen.
yeah, I mean, and then Enclave, but the Enclave was a new one that was off of MacArthur, but they recently had a shooting. So
Oh, no.
yeah, it
well,
was over the weekend. So
location-wise, that's right down from the
and
healthcare.
It was a
or the-
fight that broke out.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, "Screw this!" And like, I guess like
God.
shot the guy.
Ugh.
So
It's getting
so
worse.
that's gonna look bad on them for
That's some
a
fucking
but,
some chat pile shit there. It's just like, why?
yeah.
Why?
Yeah, well, especially if you build up a venue and you're just now getting started and you're finally getting people in the door, and then suddenly something like that happens, and everybody's like, "Well, I ain't gonna go over there," and it's like,
Yeah.
it was a personal
It's not
fight.
safe,
It wasn't,
you know?
Right.
But,
it wasn't
you
like
know,
a public thing.
As far as spots go, I mean, Resonant Head is my favorite.
Oh
in
yeah, the
Oklahoma
place
City.
is beautiful.
It's
I did
amazing. Yeah.
was not.
I
did
love
not ask
playing
them. We
there.
just popped in there, but like me and Tim from Speak Memory did
Oh,
like a
cool.
split EP release because Giraffe Massacre hasn't done shit in a while.
Right.
We were sitting on the track, and we came up in there, and I didn't realize he didn't ask, or that we didn't ask, but we made it work. And that place is beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
Good drinks, nice aesthetics.
Like awesome people that work there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the talent buyer Patrick is amazing.
He came and talked to our classes.
Oh, cool. Patrick's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like that's my favorite in the city, but I always love the Blue Note, of course. It's classic.
Yeah, that's where
forever.
I'm usually at.
89th, we end up playing some of like the bigger package shows
I
there.
bet 89th got
I think
bought out by
DCF
DCF.
bought it. Yeah.
So
But I talked to Tava, and I think it's still kind of operating the same way. And I talked to Nick, and they kind of put me in touch with the new people. But
yeah, they make like some kind of deal to maintain its integrity because it's
Yeah.
obviously been successful.
well, that's the thing. That's what Tava was saying. I think like it's gonna they get it. You know, they get it's operating that way. So
they have a formula. You know,
there's some cool shows.
impressive. I just want to say, like, you know, we started this conversation with the Green Door,
Right,
and
right.
its developments, like into conservatory,
Oh,
Green Door
yeah.
going downtown, and then like fucking Nick stepping up in there and just
Well, I
like,
worked at Size, and then I ran sound at Conservatory a little bit, and would always run the door and shit like that. So yeah, it's just like those spots. I've never played Sanctuary. I've been to a few shows. Backroom is putting on a lot of hardcore shows at VFW.
Yeah, BFW.
We've never played
that
one
the
of those,
one-
but I
office
want
buildings.
to. It's on the south side.
I've been there.
Yeah,
I played over there once
it's
with
sick.
Nadia was a booker.
Oh,
this young
okay.
girl.
Yeah.
It was a fun time. I made a bunch of friends that night. Fucking Anal Con, of course, was on there, and
Oh, that's awesome.
some of the homies.
That's funny. But yeah, and but as far as Tulsa goes, the Whittier Bar in Tulsa is my favorite. I mean, I like it more or as much as Resonant Head, and
I think I played there once.
It's-
It was east and west.
it's kind of like a shotgun room, like shotgun.
Oh, like
style,
a
like
hallway?
kind of
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah.
But that's owned by this guy named Nick Flores, and he was in a bunch of Tulsa hard. He was in some bands with John Moreland, actually, some of John's metal bands.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I haven't done my history on John Moreland.
You should. He was in some sick metal bands. Yeah.
Oh, that is dope.
He was in a band called 30 called Arson, and then a band called Machinist that were like fucking some of the best. Yeah. He actually did a couple jams with Destroyer back in the day too.
Oh wow, that is brilliant. I love that.
But yeah, Whittier Bar in Tulsa is really like where I book a lot of the like kind of like B or like mid-level like metal shows.
I was
Like a lot
gonna
of
ask-
$20 spin bands. Like I'll book through there.
Who are some of your support bands that you usually play with? Is there consistency
Like
to that?
locally?
Yeah,
Yeah.
up in Tulsa, you know,
So
because like you would trade, right?
Yeah, kinda.
Come down here, like,
Yeah,
and I'll get
sometimes.
like a couple bands on the
Yeah,
bill.
yeah.
You come up here, and I'll get some bands on the bill.
There's a really good band. We're playing. Actually, our next show is May 3rd at the Whittier with a band called Skeleton from Texas. They're a $20 spin band. But Ectospire.
Interesting. So they pulled you from Oklahoma up to Tulsa while they pulled somebody from Texas.
Well,
then-
I booked the Texas band.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or
Like, 'cause
were
I
they
couldn't
like
get it.
already on the way?
Yeah, they're on tour.
Okay.
So they hit me
and you're
up.
like, well,
Yeah, I mean, I also book a fuck ton of I book all the shows too.
I guess I shouldn't look at it like that. I'm looking at it like Oklahoma City is your hub,
Yeah.
but it's not.
But I can't. But I tried to book that Skeleton show. I try to book shows in Oklahoma City all the time, and
People don't get back to you.
people don't get back to me. and B, there's not a big crowd for anything that's not hardcore or, I don't know, bar rock maybe.
It's a good time to ask a question like, how often do you think a band should play in their city? There's
Maybe.
always surrounding areas that people don't utilize. I
Yeah.
heard the story of Bowling for Soup would do all the rural areas.
Yeah,
get
yeah,
homies,
I think
and
that's
then
great.
do one show. In
I try to play like Oklahoma City if I can once every 6 weeks, and then Tulsa once every
That's
6
fair.
weeks, something like that. You
You're
know
still
what I mean?
releasing material at the same time, so there's new stuff to see as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. I mean, we're fucking writing all the time too. So, but like kind of like we were saying earlier, is like I go through like cycles of it too. You know, like I'll be like really, really heavy into booking and playing shows for like 4 months.
I just wanted to hit you.
I've been into booking show. You know, I'll do something. I'll be real active for like 4 months, and then maybe like I need to write for 2 months, or Greg's in a tour, or Destroyer's recording, or like whatever. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like playing locally all the. You know, it's like
Yeah.
I love it. But I mean, yeah, we'll just go to Dallas to play a show. We'll go to fucking Arkansas and play a show. We'll play in Tulsa. We end up playing Tulsa more because, like I was saying, like there's more of a crowd for, you know, weirdo metal and like death metal and that type of thing. Like I try and book death metal shows here, like from $20 spin bands or Profound Lore or Relapse bands. People don't give a shit unless it's like one of the bigger top name ones. Can't get anyone there. You
How
know?
do you find your bands? Do they approach you,
I mean,
or
yeah,
you just like scout out their tours?
I mean, you know,
like
well,
TBAs, like to be announced. You're like,
kind
there's a
of.
fucking date right there.
I
You're
usually
passing Oklahoma.
I usually get hit up.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I usually get hit up by like,
You probably already crossed paths with a lot of these.
yeah,
people.
yeah. I've played with all of these bands, or we've been on the same label, or they know we're a $20 spin band, so they put out a record on that, and they got recommended us, you know, or just through, or like I'll meet someone. Oh, you playing Greg's band? I'm coming through. Who books?
Right.
You know.
right.
And sometimes I'll book the show if I want to play the show. If I don't want to play the show, I'll pass it along.
Just like, here's the information.
Yeah,
Who-
or I'll go to the show and hang out. I mean, like
I like to do
just
that.
it just depends. But yeah, I end up doing a lot in Tulsa just because the crowd is good, pays well, and yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I see myself as like an Oklahoma City band, but like,
I don't think people should think like that. Like
I
your
don't-
hub is definitely there, like when you
Yeah,
need it.
yeah.
But you should look at moving your horizon.
yeah, like I don't
Don't
like,
rely on the one location.
No, like I don't like I've never looked at myself as like a local band. Like I've always looked at myself as like I fucking tour, so who gives a shit where I'm from? You know,
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
like a terminally local. Like I hate that. You know,
tethered.
yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
we've been
that's-
talking for quite a while.
yeah.
Is there anything like you'd like to share? I know you got the string endorsement.
Oh yeah, that was cool. String
And,
String Joy for life.
We haven't really talked about the Destroyer stuff, where you think that's going to go.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can get into that real quick. That basically band reunited. Of course, Jamie passed away. You know,
R.I.P.
one of my best friends ever, and I'd been playing with Noah in Greg's band, and then Noah joined Black Magnet, and he was like, "Yo, we're gonna like start jamming Destroyer. Do you want to play?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" So that band's writing a bunch of songs, learning some of the old songs, and gonna record an EP, 3 songs in April. And then the Black Magnet record will come out like we talked about in June.
June-ish.
June-ish, yeah. And I think Greg's gonna do some more solo stuff too. So yeah, that's what's going on. But like 2024 was kind of a lull. Like I was trying to get the Black Magnet record out. No real Greg tours that year because Better Lovers was taken off and Cantrell was
Right.
touring. And Greg tours fucking 300 days a year. Like it's
Was
insane.
Noah working with that Better Lovers stuff? Or
He actually almost filled in for them.
Oh, wow.
They had a kind of family emergency, but no, he didn't.
that stuff is so fucking
It's
technical.
fucking
That's
sick,
a-
man.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, it's Every Time I Die. You know, it's like,
Yeah. And their early stuff was definitely more
Oh,
adjacent to like
fuck yeah, dude. Like
into the mode.
hot damn. Every Time I Die I listen to it once a week. Still, it's fucking amazing.
Oh my gosh.
It's so good. But yeah. That's what's going on as far as new music goes.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Lots of new shit.
I'm starting to brain fart right now. Like it's just like
If you got any more questions, we can keep going. I don't know.
no, I figure that's about it. I know like you had some stuff you had to go do.
Kind of. I'm not getting blown.
You got to see the
Yeah.
Cavaliers show last night.
Yeah, it was fucking
Lucky.
sick. Yeah, they were great.
Yeah. I'm good to call it if you're good to call it.
Sure.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. It's been a while since I've done an episode. It's like October, so I want to thank Black Magnet for being here.
Thank you for letting me
Yeah,
be
thank
on
you
here as
to
well.
David. Yeah, no, I was about.
Hello.
Wow, so pretentious. No, yeah, thank you to David for setting this all up and providing a place. For
This has
us to
been
do the
a lot of
episode
fun.
and-
Yeah, I'll do it again. I love doing podcasts.
Yeah, especially if you got something coming out or,
Yeah.
just a reoccurring. What am I going to say?
I don't know.
A reoccurring
Do
victim.
you have any events coming up?
May 3rd in Tulsa is our next show at the Whittier.
Okay.
With Skeleton and Ectospire, and that's it. Yeah. For now. Destroyer is going to start booking stuff maybe end of summer.
Stoked for that.
Yeah. Maybe a Black Magnet tour in August. Don't know yet. But yeah.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah.
Blackmagnet.com.
.net actually.
.net.
Yeah, and all their socials will be inside the
Yeah.
clip notes, I guess you call it. I don't know, the podcast notes.
Podcast notes.
Yeah.
Info.
Yeah. And yeah, so yeah, thank you all for listening.
All right.
Thank you.